Hollow one, Jeskai control. These players will be given the green light here in just a moment as Rosum is on 6 cards. And we will be underway. A Wooded Foothills here for Tyler Novak. This will allow him to search up a Blood Crypt, fall down to 17. And maybe a Burning Inquiry.
Please.
Yeah.
Please.
Flameblade Adept. We might get the random discard next turn. It's Colonnade is where Rosum will start. Tasker in hand here for Novak, among other cards. It will be a Faithless Looting. So Novak will draw 2 and discard 2 cards here in just a moment. See what Novak wants to discard here.
Looks like a Blackcleave Cliffs and a Bloodghast.
All right, so Bloodghast is back. 2 triggers from the Flameblade Adept. Here's an attack for 3. All tied up at 17s. Sacrifice the fetch. Will Novak fall down to at least 16, potentially 14. We'll make it 14. Rosum staring at a Logic Knot that's going to be pretty useless this game, it looks like.
I'm not optimistic.
No?
It's going to be hard to get a whole lot going with that card.
No. Are we maybe going to do a little Burning Inquiry?
Be a little weird to not do that prior to attacks.
Well, he's just going to pass the turn back then, so never mind.
I think Novak may have gotten ahead of himself just a little bit there. I think there was some sense, oh, I should inquiry now, and then thought better of it because of the implications with the added next turn.
Here's the Serum Visions. Looks like Rosum going to put them both on top, I think. Yep. Another Colonnade past the turn back. Well, things could get pretty ugly here for Jonathan, depending on what Tyler's turn looks like.
Yeah, being on the draw and not interacting on the first 2 turns is not a winning recipe against this deck typically.
Now here's Burning Inquiry.
Whoo!
Let's have some fun, shall we? Both players will draw 3 cards.
Red Ancestral.
Something like that. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cards there for Rosum.
Good news for the Logic Knot. He either discards it or it's ready to go.
Yep.
Win-win.
Yeah, that's what it is. This cannot be the most efficient way to do this.
No, but it's fun.
It is fun.
It's fun, you know. What are you going to do?
All right. Okay.
Yeah, this is fun.
Yeah.
I like resolving it this way.
Okay. Rosum will lose. Search for his contest, Supreme Verdict, and a land.
Efficiency be damned.
Yeah.
Took a lot longer than it needed to.
That's for sure. 3 triggers with the Flameblade Adept. We'll see what else Novak's going to bring to the battlefield here, if anything. Looks like nothing else, just an attack here for 6, that's all. Next up here for Tyler. And the Flameblade Adept. And a mountain. Pass the turn back.
Remember, he still has Faithless Looting in the graveyard and now with land number 3, so he's rolled up pretty nicely for next turn.
Serum Visions the draw. Sacred Foundry untapped. Head back over to Tyler as Rosum is at 9. There's the Faithless Looting. See if this does resolve or not.
Yeah, Rosum played the dual land untapped here, and I think it's an interesting line here from Rosum. I think he was planning on electrolyzing here, which is why he played the Sacred Foundry untapped. But if he was going to Logic Knot the Faithless Looting, I think I would have preferred just to play it tapped.
Yep.
Because the odds are so high that Novak just goes pre-combat, discard flashback Faithless Looting, or play some other card that's similar. So if you were going to counter whatever that card was, that's all your mana for the turn, and then playing the Sacred Foundry untapped doesn't amount to much. And the 2 points matter a ton here.
Back over to Tyler we'll go. He'll scope out his graveyard here. Remember, the deck does have Delve threats in Gurmag Angler and Tassiger. Here's a Flamewake Phoenix. Rosum looks like he's going to Logic Knot this as well. Temporary answer to that problem. Though, in some instances, that counterspell can be a permanent answer. And John can use Path to Exile, I imagine, on the Bloodghast.
Yeah, your removal that exiles, it's gotta hit these Bloodghast and Phoenixes.
There's always the risk, of course. That's interesting. Going to take 3, fall down to 2. Yep, there's a bolt. Well, that'll take care of things no matter what happens. So Tyler Novak's going to win again, everyone, here over Jonathan Rosum. Black-Red Hollow won up a game here over Jeskai Control. So, for Rosum, looks like for the first time all weekend, he's got his back against the wall. We'll see if he can bounce back here just a bit. We are back. Cedric Phillips, Patrick Sullivan getting ready here for game number 2 between Jonathan Rosum playing Jeskai Control and Tyler Novak playing Black-Red Hollow One. We'll start with Rosum, who's got 2 Celestial Purge, 2 Dispel, 2 Rune Halo, 2 Vendilion Click, Ceremonious Rejection, Disdainful Stroke, Engineered Explosives, Elspeth Sun's Champion, a Negate, Timely Reinforcements, and a Wear Tear.
So the top of the list here, the 2 copies of Celestial Purge and Rune Halo are a really good answer to the recursive, redundant threats in Hollow One. There's a couple of cards hanging out on the fringes here, like Engineered Explosives, Elspeth Sun's Champion, and Timely Reinforcements, which aren't spectacular, but are probably good enough to bring in.
For Tyler Novak, he has 3 Leyline of the Void, 2 Fatal Push, 2 Thoughtseize, 2 Grim Lavamancer, 2 Ancient Grudge, 2 Liliana of the Veil, a Terminate, Engineer explosives.
The cards that stick out to me here are the 2 copies of Thoughtseize and the 2 copies of Liliana the Veil. That seems like the best thing going on. I could also see the 2 copies of Grim Lavamancer coming in, though, a little soft against a deck with so many bolts and electrolyze.
Well, those are the options there for both players. Game number 2 will be underway here in a moment, but unfortunately for Jonathan Rosum, he's going to be taking the mulligan down to 6 again. Tough start here for him.
It's tough in these tournaments. Like, he's 11-2. He's done nothing but win over the course of 2 days. And you pick up a loss last round, and now you're here down a game and mulliganing, and it's like you can just miss top 8 from this position. It's just such a grind to do well in these events.
Definitely is.
Because Rosum spent all of day 1 just wailing on people from what we from what we saw. And it's not like he's had a bad day 2 by any stretch, but
it's been a little bit worse than day 1. Not much, like you said. Not much, but just a little bit worse. We'll see if John can find a 6-card hand that he's happy with. And it looks like he has, so away we are about to go. Is there maybe a ley line over there for Tyler or something? What am I missing?
well, I think you just put it down there. It doesn't get better with age.
Yeah. It's not like wine.
Right.
Now I am slightly curious what the holdup is. There we go.
Yeah.
Hallowed Fountain Serum Visions here for John.
Really mulling this one over.
This is your classic. If he puts one on top, one on bottom, game over then, or
Well, he mulliganed, so it's,
okay, so it's not that way.
Right.
Got it.
Yeah, if he kept 7, then yeah, just
That's my bad.
go to game 3.
Just call it. What are we even doing?
Right.
One on top, one on bottom. Yeah. We'll head back over to Tyler. He'll sacrifice a Bloodstained Mire. Blood Crypt likely on the way here, folks. As Tyler will consult the hand. There is a Blood Crypt. He'll fall down to 17. And now there's Flameblade Adepts. That'll get the party started here for Tyler Novak. And we'll go back over to Rosum. Rosum will draw. Mountain. Simply pass the turn back. Over to Novak. Going to start by cycling a Street Wraith. There will be a trigger for the Flameblade Adept. So it'll be a 2-power creature for right now. Though Rosum does have an answer to it with both Lightning Bolt and Celestial Purge. Next up is Faithless Looting. 2 triggers. Burning Inquiry among the cards drawn here. We could have some real fun here in a minute, folks. Bloodghast among the cards that have been placed in the graveyard. Lightning Bolt will take care of the Flameblade Adept as Bloodghast does return from the graveyard, given the playing of the Blood Crypt tapped. Back over to Jonathan Rosum we go. Logic not the draw. He'll play a Plains. And maybe a Celestial Purge right now. It's actually going to be a Ruined Halo. Curious what the name will be.
Bloodghast is a really good name. 1, because Novak has one, and 2, because over the long term, Novak is likely to have several copies, so shutting them all down is very good.
Well, Bloodghast is the name there with Ruined Halo. That card from the Lorwyn block, as you see the Kithkin with the Ruined Halo above it. As Ruined Halo comes into play, name a card, you have protection from the chosen name. You can't be targeted, dealt damage, or enchanted by anything with that chosen name. Here is a Goblin Lore.
Yes! Yahtzee!
5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Who knows? Goblin Lore, Lightning Bolt,
A
Hollow
hollow
one.
one.
Running bad. But there is another hollow one in hand. As Novak will take a look at the graveyard, perhaps he has a delve threat here.
Liliana the Veil also in his hand at this point.
Your kind of deck right here. There's a Flame Blade up. There's a hollow one.
No, I am much more in the market for Illusion of Control, but my cards are bad.
Got it.
This is kind of the opposite.
Got it.
Random, but the cards are good, so it's okay.
Sure. Ross, I'm still looking at Supreme Verdict over there.
Loginati can't cast.
This is a really tough matchup for Jeskai.
You got to send in the Bloodghast for Blessed Alliance.
Look at you. Look at you.
Also keep his legs warm. Keep him loose.
That's right. You never know, you might meet him.
Yeah.
Here's the Liliana of the Veil. This one should actually be kind of okay, actually. Rosum has the Purge to take care of it, and he's got a card to discard. So, yeah.
I mean, it's still brutal. He's so light on resources total. But, yeah, this Liliana is not going to be game over.
Yeah, this Lodging Knot goes to the graveyard. This Purge, yeah, this Purge kills the Planeswalker. And then if Rosum's able to run off a couple of lands here, he's doing all right. See, Purge take care of that. He's got a Supreme Verdict in hand. He'll draw a card. He picked up an island. He'll cast a Verdict, clear everything up. He draws a 5th land. He plays Teferi.
It's good.
Easy breezy. Beautiful cover girl. Let's go back to Novak.
Is that the next SCG sponsorship deal we're trying to run down?
Been working on that for years.
Good. Can't leave any of it on the table.
Then what we can do then is once we establish that sponsorship, we can then hire people to do makeup in between rounds. And then what?
I could use it.
Yeah. And then what?
It wouldn't be bad.
Yeah, like a Sports Center anchor. Just getting dusted up in between rounds. It'll be great. That'll allow us to have longer breaks and more commercials. Who's in? Who's with me? Collective Brutality. The Whiff. Nope. Can't take that one. Somebody wants a 5th land. I just turn it over. Ah, it's a Lightning Helix. See what we got here from Tyler. Flame Wake? All right. Might Helix that one. Yep.
Yeah. Wants to keep the battlefield as clear as possible. Also important for Rosum to keep himself above 10 because he doesn't want to be in a position where the Bloodghast comes out of the graveyard with haste and starts running down the Teferi.
5th land, Teferi, draw a card, untap 2 lands, pass the turn back. I cannot believe how much better this card is than Jace. It's unbelievable. It is really unbelievable. What do we got here? Goblin Lore, yes. Spin the wheel. Let's go. Get him some 6-siders. There we go. Four, 5, and 6. To the bin. See you later, Angler and Thoughtseize. Cycle of Street Wraith. Hollow one doing its thing right now. Seeing a bunch of cards. Maybe doing something, maybe doing nothing. Unclear.
Yeah. Tire spinning. All the setup to put it, a 4/4 and a 5/5 out there. Maybe if he's lucky. It's the hollow one experience. If he draws perfect,
There's
he may
Bloodghast.
get to play Darkwood Boars. Sea Serpent.
Draw a card. Play a Scalding Dart. Sacrifice a Scalding Dart. The old Sea Serpent.
Yeah. Roll a bunch of dice, put a Mistress War Machine into play.
Rosum going to search up a non-basic Steam Vents and then untap it with Teferi. Look at that synergy.
This is my biggest critique of the Hollow One deck. When you get into this stage, you have to get lucky to do anything at all. Not like, and now I've got like a good thing going on here. It's, I had to roll 6 dice, and if 4 of them come up the right way, then I get to play a 5/5 with no text. Now the upshot is, you know, you're very explosive. If your creatures that come out of the graveyard are Hamen, then you're good against removal. I'm not saying there's no upside to playing the deck. Just in this spot, the deck looks pitiful to me a lot of the time.
I was going to say horrible, but I like the use of pitiful. It's good to mix it up every now and again. Cryptic Command's going to counter and draw on that Faithless Looting. Teferi's going to fall down to 4. Rosum will draw, plus draw again.
Looks like he's flooding out here a little bit.
Touch. Untap those lands, pass the turn back. A Scotch. Somebody could use an Elspeth Sun's Champion. Faithless Looting. Flash it back. That'll resolve. Novak will draw 2. He'll discard 2 in a moment. Not sure which 2 he wants to discard just yet. He will go with a Burning Inquiry among other options. Poltergeist going to knock the Teferi down to 3. Big follow-up, Flameblade Adept. And we go back to Rosum, who will draw Colonnade. It's not terrible, actually.
Yeah, Colonnade's not too bad because he gets to untap at the end of the turn with the trigger from Teferi. Pairs it with an Electrolyze. Should be in a position now to start really protecting this Teferi, getting control of this game.
There's Electrolyze on Flameblade Adept. Draw a card. Untap a couple of lands, will Rosum. Among them, Celestial Colonnade, which he can activate to block Blood Gas as we head back over to Tyler Novak. Faithless Looting. Burning Inquiry among the draws. 2 cards need to go to the graveyard. We'll see what they will be in a moment. Flamewake Phoenix and Burning Inquiry. The discards are to Faithless Looting. Here is Hollow 1.
Well, here we go. I mean, if he can get to combat here and get these Phoenixes back.
Of which he has multiple in the graveyard.
Yeah. If you can run down the Teferi, then...
Path to Exile before the attack step means...
never mind.
Not yet. Not yet, thank you. Novak will get to search for a land. He'll get a mountain.
He's also going to get decked.
Is that where we are now?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think we've hit that. Yeah. I mean, he'll probably concede before he gets decked, but he'll get decked. He'll get decked.
Bloodghast going to bring Teferi down to 2. Teferi back up to 3. Draw a card.
I believe Timely Reinforcements the draw there.
Delightful. Rosum going to go with the Scalding Tarn as opposed to the Colonnade in his hand. He'll sacrifice the Scalding Tarn.
Yeah, I believe with Timely Reinforcements as the draw here, he wants to go down to 12 to pick up 6 along with the 3 tokens.
Kit sees every angle, jeez.
Jeez.
Here is Timely Reinforcements. Three soldiers on the way, along with 6 life. That one's a nice one. Colonnade. I'm getting ready to come on in for 4. Teferi gets to untap a couple of lands. Past the turn back. Over to Tyler Novak, who's in some serious trouble now, folks. Rosum is starting to get his feet set this game. Novak will take a look at his graveyard here. Again, 2 copies of Flamewake Phoenix. Looks like he's fresh out of copies of Faithless Looting, but I could be wrong. Maybe there's one more down there. There is. So he'll draw 2 and discard 2 here. Let's see what he'll place in the graveyard. Bloodghast in a land, it looks like. We'll be delving. Looks like for an angler. Yes, the real big fish. Which means that Flame Wake can come back. At least one.
Yeah, you'd really like to have the second one here to have some hope of finally getting Teferi off the battlefield.
And there are 2 Flame Wakes down there. A little surprised by that.
He's trying to chump block.
No,
no, excuse me.
okay. Okay. So he'll just bolt Teferi. And we go back over to Rosum, who's without his powerful Planeswalker now. Colonnade. In for 4.
I believe his draw was Cryptic Command here, so that should be the check mark.
That's a good Magic card. Novak look through that graveyard again. He'll find those 2 Flame Wakes. Bloodghast down there as well. So it looks like he'll return a couple of Knuckleheads here. Remember, Flame Wake Phoenix must attack. It's part of the text on that card. So, I'm going to rumble on over for 4. Rosum going to fall down to 14. Bounce and draw. Untap. Time to fire up Colonnade. And that'll allow Rosum to come over for the W, presumably, and it will. Jonathan Rosum will win game number 2 here against Tyler Novak. Jeskai Control and Black Red Hollow 1. They're all tied up. We'll see how crazy things get here for Tyler Novak on the play in game number 3. Just a bit. Game number 3 about to be underway here between Jonathan Rosum and Tyler Novak. It's Jeskai Control. It's Black Red Hollow 1, and there could be some madness with Burning Inquiry. But not Goblin Lore.
But not literal madness.
No.
That mechanic not featured in the deck.
Can we bring that mechanic back? Can that be Evergreen?
It's horrible. It's a horrible mechanic.
Nice little Evergreen mechanic there, no?
It's horrible because it doesn't happen in games organically. So any file that contains the keyword needs to have a bazillion awkward commons devoted to facilitating it, which you can tell by looking at any file where madness exists. And you know what? Discarding cards out of your hand to pay costs is not that much fun for most people. I put the cards in my deck because I enjoy them, not because they're just random material to throw away to dirty were rats.
How are you going to talk about dirty were rats like that?
Yeah.
That's your guy.
The were rat.
How are you going to do that? You know you've given some beatdowns with Dirty Were Rat.
I have.
Don't act like you haven't.
Yeah, and that Team Rochester format, I was our team's black player, so I played with a lot of Dirty Were Rat.
Look at that thing.
You may not believe this, but this was quite literally one of the best commons in the set for draft. I'm not kidding.
What
are you supposed to do with this thing? Minion rat.
That's a mean rat.
Yeah.
That's what that is. 4 mana 2/3. Those stats nowadays. Hello.
Turns into a 4/5 that can't block. That's when you unlock it. That's when you've completed the mission.
That's when you put him into the abyss.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
Yeah, it transforms into the abyss.
4/5, single black to discard for profit, probably, to regenerate, as Novak will take a mulligan here. Oh, that dirty were-rat.
Yeah. It's not that much fun for people to play with those cards for the most part.
That was before my time.
That was in my Magic prime.
15 years ago or whatever? 20 years ago, maybe?
17 or 18, 16, 17? I don't know.
That was Odyssey?
Yeah.
Man, that was a long time ago.
So
crazy.
Madness is an awful mechanic.
What's worse, madness or processing?
Oh, processing. Definitely processing. I think treating the Exile Zone as a second graveyard is so bad. It's so bad. What does remove from the game means? It means that you don't have to worry about it anymore. Alternatively, it just means that it's like a second graveyard, and we just sometimes call out Graveyard A and sometimes we call it Graveyard B.
Processing, homie.
F.
Yeah.
Madness is an F+.
That's good. That's a good grade.
And Madness works a little bit more organically. Like, cards exist that cause you to discard as a cost or, whatever. Processing is just you have to make this wholly inorganic, construction to make it ever manifest. You have to make it up, basically. To make processing come up in games, you have to make it up.
Sounds good to me. Except not good at all.
It's not good.
Novak on 5, but this deck can work on 5. Flameblade Adept. That's where it'll start. Rosum. Did you know it rhymes with awesome?
I did know that.
That's good. Hey, Scalding Tarn. Let's go back to Tyler.
He's going to have just an extremely explosive Hollow 1 type of draw here on 5 cards. Or he has to have the recursive elements of the deck, like Bloodghast and Flamewake Phoenix, that Rosum can't contend with. Not impossible on 5 cards, but it's asking a lot.
Flamewake Phoenix. Flameblade Adept, go to the graveyard. Street Wraith into the graveyard now, too, because Tyler Novak paid 2 life. Show me a Hollow 1. Show me a Hollow 1. In 4/4. Bolted. Why is Hollow 1 always shy on camera? Thoughts, Juju. It's going to be a hard game for Tyler to win now.
Yeah.
He has no material.
He's got nothing to do.
Verdict, Lodge Knot, search for his Kanta, a couple of lands. I would take the search
Yeah,
for his
you
Kanta.
gotta. You're not going to be able to play through that card from this position. But Logic Knot and Supreme Verdict, if you find enough Flamewake Phoenixes and Bloodghast, those cards might not be that effective.
You can definitely beat the other stuff. Search for his Kanta over the course of a medium-length game, you are not defeating. Good choice, Tyler. Good choice.
Logic Knot, Supreme Verdict are really good against some of the threats, the next chunkier threats, but the Bloodghast and Flamewake Phoenixes line up very well against it, so I think that's the path.
Flooded Strand, now here's Collective Brutality. Rosum, he may counter this, he may not. Might be worth countering. Logic Knot's not doing much else.
I don't know why you would give him the option here of selecting the Supreme Verdict. It's not if your graveyard was all spells and you needed all those options for Snapcaster Mates, that's one thing, but you can afford to get rid of the search for his Kanta or the land. He's worried about preserving his life total and he really wants to fetch a dual land tap. That's one thing, but
Colonnade, pass the turn back. Well, Logic Knot actually looks kind of good now. In some respects.
Well, it's not whether or not Logic Knot's good. It's just why give Novak the option of taking that or the Supreme Verdict.
Sure. Wooded Foothills.
And all other things being equal, he gets to see that you drew nothing the previous turn. So there's some. If it's close, you should probably counter just to conceal what your draw step was.
What happened?
I'm sorry. Flashback of Faithful Lane, discarding Goblin Lore and
Burning Inquiry. Yeah, I missed it. I blinked for a moment and I missed it. What's this? I'm not letting that resolve. Well, I don't know. Maybe I am.
I mean, what are you worried about falling out of here?
That's a good question. I don't know.
You just counter whatever the thing is.
A bunch of Bloodghasts.
Yeah.
How about that?
That's the concern, right?
How about Tyler just drew 3 Bloodghasts, discards them all, and then
But
plays
if you counter the Goblin Lore and then he goes, all right, Gurmag Angler, Tassiker, it's really bad.
It's not great. All right, there goes a bunch of rubbish.
Goodness, sometimes this deck is.
Does this deck just look horrible now?
It's just, it is struggling so hard to get a Windrake onto the battlefield. Like that's what all this. That's what we're building up to here. Is trying to get Windrake out on the battlefield.
Gurmag Angler, no. So no. Let's go back over to Ross. Cryptic Command and Electrolyze.
That's game.
He's calling it. He's calling it right now.
Calling it.
What about that Windrake, though?
We're still waiting.
Oh, what do you think about this?
There we go.
It's a really good target for Electrolyze. Rosum will draw a card. We swear this deck, he's 11-2. He's done some crazy stuff.
It's just the whole, and Rosum here wants to wait one more turn on the Teferi so we can play it plus untap 4 lands, have the Cryptic Command, and then waltz to a victory.
Whew. Hollow one. Struggling. Struggling right now.
Dance to victory like a character in his beloved Footloose.
There is Teferi. Rosum will draw a card. He will untap 2 lands so that he can keep Cryptic Command up. Will the 19-year-old from Spencer, Mass. 3 mana. Oh boy, there it is. Old Hasty Drake. All right. Rosum just says that's fine.
Not even
I don't
worth
even
it.
care.
Not even worth it.
Rosum will search for a land here. Probably a Ravnica Duel tapped. Wouldn't surprise me. He's actually going to get a basic island. He's going to cast the Serum Visions in a moment, I think. Always tough on Mulligan at 5. Mulligans are actually really tough on Hollow One.
Yeah, because you need to have enough like cushion in your hand to make sure that you can discard some stuff to fuel some things and have threats left over on 5 cards is really hard.
Elspeth Sun's Champion has just been drawn. That's pretty neat. It's a Planeswalker party. 3 soldiers. Teferi's going to untap a couple of lands. Tyler Novak will untap and draw. The hope here for Novak, as the chances of him winning this game are extremely unlikely, is that he can still play for top 8 next round.
Yes.
Always looking for positives in situations like this. Novak 11-2, has had a great tournament thus far, has run into a pretty tough matchup, and the draw certainly didn't cooperate. That's for darn sure.
He's got tools to win these kind of games. There's the I win the short game by just overpowering you with Hollow Ones and Gurmag Anglers. And then there's sometimes I can win the long game, and didn't line up here the right way in the post-board games.
Celestial Purge will take care of Tassiger. Path Exile will take care of Flame Lake Phoenix. Rosum cannot wait to untap. And when he does, he'll get the opportunity to make 3 more soldiers, draw a couple more cards, and hey, maybe even fire up his old pal Celestial Colonnade. Start with the Serum Visions, Wooljohn. Draw a card, scry 2. Gonna leave them both on top. Play a Colonnade. In for 3. Elspeth will generate 3 more soldiers Teferi's got some untapping to do. Jonathan Rosum going to win this match over Tyler Novak 2-1. Jeskai Control will take care of Black Red Hollow 1, and we got our third player into the top 8 here in Minneapolis. It is awesome to be John Rosum.
Yeah, congratulations. Tyler Novak most likely will get another crack at it next round as we enter our last round of Swiss, but now 3 names at the minimum checked off here.